All right, let's get some jams going. Here we go. All right, so welcome on in, guys. Welcome back to another Saturday morning cook-up. Man, it's been a little while since we've had a Saturday morning cook-up. I know I've been on break. I've been traveling, then I was sick, and but I'm back now. I'm excited to have a good studio session today. I think my goal for today is to make something that is Spotify worthy. Something worthy of a release would be amazing. But also, if we end up with just like some dope, like rappable beats, that would be sick too. I mean, you know, I gotta give some love to the rappers as well. But anyways, as you guys may or may not know, I am TapDaddy on all platforms, and this is my newest release, Reminiscence. So yeah. Beautiful stuff. I also have an album that I recently dropped called Return to Earth. Definitely go check it out. I know I'm dropping a lot of stuff all the time. Man, it also just came to my attention that Lady Moon, you know, one of my most streamed song on Spotify, actually has like 70,000 streams on YouTube Red. I didn't even know that, man. I think it might be on its way to cross 100,000 on YouTube, which is, I don't know, I've never done that before. That's kind of cool. Well, anyways, oh man, hot coffee, that is good for the soul. Anyways, let's not waste too much time. I want to just dive into Ableton and get started. So I'm gonna put the kibosh on this. You guys can go check it out. You guys know where to find me. So anyways, I did do a little bit of pre-digging. I like to start with, like, if I could find a golden sample of some sorts that maybe we chop, maybe we just pitch it, maybe we just, you know, do whatever. A good starting point. And I've been kind of sifting through some of these. I think this one, Misty, seems really cool. I know it's kind of quiet. We'll get it up there. This could be cool. I was also thinking of this one's a little bit more laid back. Okay. Maybe we like chop Misty. We could like pitch it up 2 steps and chop it. All right. Let's dive in with some drums. Figure out, I want like some really satisfying boom bap drums, I think. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. What was this kit that I made this one the other day? Yeah, I think that we can do better. Here, let me get my my vocals down a little bit. I feel like my mic is pretty loud today. I was just doing a session over Discord with one of my homies, and I feel like I got my levels all out of whack. All right, what else we got here? This guy, I think, this chill boom bap one, I think it's pretty solid. Okay. I'm also just getting my levels right here. All right. I feel like this could be the kit that we're going to lay down something solid on. I'm thinking that, but then we do like a little extra work on it. I was almost thinking of like we could kind of like double time Dilla shuffle that if we add in a few extra hi-hats. How was the one before that? Yeah, that's much better. Let's loop this and kind of go into the piano roll here. And basically what's going to happen is I think I want for all of these hi-hats to be straightened out. And what's going to be swung is the ones that I'm going to put in between there. So let's quantize these. Okay. And no, I've only got one here. So I'm thinking it's going to be like here. We might just like lay all of these down and highlight every other one. And basically what we'll do is kind of bring it back by an amount. So like it's a little bit too swung. I don't know though. Feeling like it's not quite there. It's not quite there. I wanna take the time to get this like really, really locked in solid before we move on. So like let's just go back to blank canvas, right? At 120. So yeah, this one's kind of nice because we've got this secondary snare that we could do a lot with. That's good. So then, let's see if we capture that. Now, was that an even 16 bars or what? Ah, no. It's just 8 bars. That's perfect, actually. Ooh, yeah, this is cool because it's kind of got this like little lean to it. And we're going to just slip in this little secondary snare every once in a while. So like right here. Let's pencil this in like here, but we'll like bring this down a little bit and slide this over. Maybe we bring this up a bit. Nice. So place one down over here. And this is where I'm like, maybe we want to like kind of do a little ooh, that's kind of cool, right? Okay, so we've dressed in like about half of the little snare play accents. And we've got the other 4 bars to go. We'll maybe try to do a little bit of variation in there. We'll start it off the same right here. Maybe get a little bit more expressive here. There we go. There we go. Sick. Let's see if we can chop that piano that we were looking at earlier. I'm just going to drag this onto a MIDI track, and that's going to open up Simpler, Ableton's default sampler plugin. Let's see, it was Misty, I think it was. I mean, this would be pretty sick as is. I just want to maybe see if we play with it a little bit first, see if we stumble onto anything better. But I'm not opposed to just like running that. I think we're gonna slice by transients, actually. And I want to kind of like slide this back. Okay, I think we've got enough here, and I'm thinking we want to transpose this up. Nice. That's really slick. That's really slick. This is gonna be good. Okay. So then. Would this sound better at its original transposition? At first I was thinking it was a little bit muddy. And sometimes by lifting it, it kind of helps brighten it. But this is kind of cool. Alright, I'm sold. I'm sold. Now, I mean, this could be a sick rap song, but I'm really hoping today to maybe strive for something a little greater and get something that I think ideally will aim our sights at something that is discography worthy. And with that, I think we're gonna need some real meat and potatoes, okay? And what I mean by that is I need like a trumpet lick or something that is like catchy as fuck, right? I need something that is gonna be the thing that is stuck in your head when you hear this song. So let's go digging around for some samples of just like, I just need like a little catchy lick that we can kind of ornament around. of these I have sampled. We're in A minor, I believe. Yeah. So we'll transpose to A and look at mostly the minors. What did I use this in though? Because this would be golden. I might say fuck it and just use this guy. I'll stick around a bit, but that is probably my top choice. Might even kind of trade off, because there's just like bits of this that I think are kind of golden. See, I just like that. Ba 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 da. Look, because I know what I like about this guy, and I know that we have that other one in the bag, right? But I think it's like, see, that's really what I'm vibing with. What did we have a little bit before this? Maybe we start like this. We gotta turn this down a bit. And we'll probably do the same over here. Like, I don't think we want all of this, but we just want Alright, let's gloss this up a little bit. It's a little bit too dry right now. just gonna start pulling sounds out. Pretty slick. I'm vibing with it. Dude, this is good. What's up, Steven Bam? How you doing? Yo, Steve, how you doing, dude? He says, hey, yo, King, happy Saturday. Hey, happy Saturday, man. Hope you're having a good one. Man, it was good hearing some of your music on Twitch the other day. I feel like I'm glad I finally got to hear some of your stuff, dude. Oh man, we're making something really vibey today. Alright. Oh, and you know what? I'm almost thinking of like one string swell that I sometimes pull out. I've used this a lot. He says, no, thank you, bro. Felt real good coming from you. I really love your stuff. Hey, thank you so much, dude. Well, I hope to hear more from you, man. I'm doing that every Wednesday, so, you know, definitely lay it on me, dude. Oh, man. Let's, we got, oh, shit. Oh, I can't hear myself. There we go. I accidentally muted myself. There we go. Okay, so I feel like what we've got going on here is this nice, like, it lines up with the chops. If we find something to kind of counter this, that could be pretty slick. I also had an idea for like a string swell. I gotta go find it. But yeah. Oh, Piano 5 on our Arturia. This is literally just like the first thing that's on Augmented Piano. It's the Kairos. It just sounded good, you know. Usually I flip through presets a little bit, but that was just vibing pretty nicely. There's like subtle sort of like atmospheric stuff kind of in the background of it too, which is cool. All right, and It's like some sort of string swell. Yeah, it's gonna be something like this. We'll probably do this in an audio track. I just wanted to kind of get a sense of the notes. We'll go complex, and we'll definitely turn this down quite a bit. Woo. Slap that down over here. I'm almost thinking like maybe we shift these a little bit so that we get the biggest part of the swell like about here. Yeah, maybe it crescendos and falls off right there. So then how would that translate over here? Or do we have it kind of set where it needs to be? Yeah, that's sitting nicely. Okay. I think we're gonna make this even more subtle. We want it really sitting on the floor. And I feel like, man, if we had this trumpet trading off with like maybe a little sax lick or something, that could be really cool. Maybe we try to dig for one. A little busy. See, that right there could be enough. Yeah. Steve knows what's up. Alright, I'm kind of sold. Like, I want to pull out... Oh wait, we had an audio track here. So I'm kind of thinking... Alright, this is kind of a lot. But we'll probably like chop out that and this. So let's maybe like, first of all, set this down. I don't know though, it doesn't quite trade supernaturally yet. I think I like this lick, so I'm gonna hold on to it, but I think we're gonna try to fill this space with something a little bit different, you know, because right now this is like such a good vibe. I don't want to just like create busyness for the sake of creating busyness. In fact, maybe if it's more like we get something a little bit more minimal, like I'd love like a soul acapella. He's like, your creative process is inspiring. Hey, thank you, man. I'm just having fun with it, you know. Oh man. Let's mess around with. I feel like what I find so difficult about this is a lot of the times a lot of these are like lyrical vocal samples, and I want something not lyrical. If we like dip into like soul, R&B, or if we just went jazz. It's the right vibe, it's just too lyrical, right? Maybe like arcade vocals. I'm really looking for like a soul acapella grouping, hopefully.
to my ear.
I've sampled this before. Yeah, he says, I used to use Splice back in 2021. I need to get that, especially with the Sweet integration. It's been nice, man. I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of prefer for a while digging through Splice before my sessions. But I found this to be just like so useful in a lot of different regards. Like almost. I want to dig into the sample pack maybe a little bit and just see what else is in here, because I've used that vocal before. Jesus. Jesus. I mean, that's a good note. See, I wasn't hearing the full sample here. Oh man, if I could just get like see, it's like way too much. It's gonna be tricky because reverb tails and all that. See, it sounds unnatural there. We could try to mask it with our own reverb, but I just am not sure that that's gonna fit. Maybe. Small detail. Maybe this is kind of something that's a little bit more B-side. Okay, I like that. I'm sold. Man, I'm vibing with this. Okay. What are we doing in terms of bass? I feel like that's kind of a foundational element that I oftentimes kind of put off. Maybe key bass. Sometimes if you use the plucked setting on key bass, it's like a very clean sounding upright bass. I think that's it. There we go. But yeah, I see Steve asking any tips on using Keybase. Oh man, yeah. First of all, this is free for anybody that wants this. Just search up Keybase and you'll find it. Kee bass. So I really like this percussive. So like, you know, this is just what it's like normally. But if you switch this knob to percussion, now this is more like an 808. So I like to do that for like these kind of deep, you know, you'll notice I'm almost kind of using this as like an upright bass. And it's just very clean, right? I will say though, there's a lot of fun stuff in here. You could like throw it on this bright mode. You really compress this and it just feels so fat, you know? It's got fuzz. But honestly, I would just recommend pulling this out anytime you need like a rich sub bass. The thing about this bass is it's got such good definition in the low end that it's gonna sound really incredible when you are playing with some high end speakers, and it hits in the car. You know, it hits in the car most of the time. So like, I don't know. I feel like when I need a sub bass that's really tried and true, I find myself going for key bass. But yeah, Steve says, I own it. I hardly use it because it just sounds too unneeded in my songs. And you know what? That's fine, man. Sometimes I think the real ticket is I'll do entire songs without bass. And I think it just makes the track kind of breathe and feel lighter on its feet sometimes if you just skip bass all entirely. Yeah, I started to sing hip-hop sub bass. You start using hip-hop sub bass because of me. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's another really tried and true sub bass, you know? I feel like with Ableton's hip-hop sub bass, it kind of has a range that it really sounds good in. Keybase, I think, kind of has a little bit more of a wider range to it. But when you need like pure sine wave sub, I go hip-hop sub bass, you know? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Seems like this note is a little bit late. Let's fix this. Doesn't sound too bad, but let's just... bring this guy back. The timing of these really counts for a lot. See, that sounds fine, even though it's a little late. Alright, we straightened that out. We'll replace this guy. But yeah, I see Steve saying, I bought a Moog Messenger a little while back, figuring it out. It's really dope, though. Oh, hell yeah, man. That's awesome. I'd have to see a picture of it to know, like, which Moog model it is. I feel like I am so far removed from, like, physical synthesizers. I can only dream of them, you know, using Arturia. Something I want to do with this Keybase is I'm going to pull out Oxide Tape Processor. This feels nice. I feel like this adds a little bit more richness to that low end. What else are we doing here? Yeah, what is that? Oh, this is from Universal Audio. Oxide Tape Recorder. I like this. It's tape emulation, but I would say, unlike RC20, this one has more of a focus on literal tape emulation. So it's more focused on subtle things like tape compression, a little bit of tape saturation on it, and just the EQ of tape, you know? Whereas I think RC20 is more transformative and it's more about sound design and changing how things sound. This is more of a mixing tool, I would say. In that if you want something that's got like that real rich like tape compression with a little bit of flutter on that low end, it's so good. Yeah, I added that to the bass. In fact, I might even turn this up a little bit. We can A/B test this. And something that I'm planning to do, I like to use this a lot on the master. You'll hear a big difference when we here, I'll just throw it on for a second. You might hear a little bit of crunch on it, a little bit of flutter in that low end. I like the kind of texture that this brings forward, you know? But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'll pull that off the master. Alright, we need to just keep pulling stuff out. I'm just gonna maybe dig into Arturia a little bit. Looking for some odds and ends. Let's just spin the wheel. What do we want? But yeah, he was saying so clean, like a master chain type, so next level to me. I will warn you though, sometimes it'll really boost your lows like insanely, and it's sometimes not the best for the master, but I'd say on tracks where you've got like some kind of like 808 layer underneath, it can feel really cool, you know? But yeah. It felt silly having RC20 on my master chain. Yeah, no, I get you. I certainly don't usually use RC20 on the master chain too, unless if I'm doing like sound design on like samples, you know, sometimes I'll pull out RC20 on it. But Oxides feels pretty appropriate for a master chain. Do we want to pull this out over here? We can try. Let's keep spinning the wheel on Analog Lab, seeing what cool sounds we pull out from it. Oh my god, let me grab this screen. There we go. Hey, what's up, Signature? How's it going, dude? Sounds almost too similar to our other detail. Let's keep digging. wait. I kind of got an idea for that. Blippy, right? We can make this work. We can totally make this work. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. Steve's like, always finding gas presets, I swear. Hey, you could be taking notes here, man. I think what I want to do with this little blippy thing is I want to, like, shape it down a bit. Maybe we throw it through this vinyl processor. Just try to... Let's really turn this down too. I was also thinking, what if we like pulled out Super Plate on this? Kind of give it like this huge ambient hit, you know? It might be kind of dope. Hell, even just on this default sounds pretty slick. Could go even bigger though. There we go. Hey. Yeah, I'm really glad we kept this pretty dressed down and cool with the trumpet. We didn't try to fill it too much because we're now coming in with all of these small details that are pretty transformative. Now this sounds like a Duracell commercial produced by Pete Rock, you know? Super Plate does reverb. Yeah, I really like Super Plate. Whenever I need something massive and nuanced, that's usually what I'm reaching for reverbs. So, you know, I'm really enjoying just pulling out Analog Lab and kind of spinning the wheel. I think we should do that a little bit more. Or maybe we do kind of pull off Analog Lab for a second and go for something a little bit more grounded. Let's pull out the Splice Instruments plugin. Bruh, I gotta log in. It only got this one. Here we go. Now we've got all of our instruments. So like we could come in here with some like I like this little turn that it has. But then I think over here I want it to kind of like step down one. So we can just kind of make that be. Stop this a little bit shorter. And this is one that we might also kind of do that with the super plate, you know, give it a pretty massive reverb to it. Yeah, nice and chilled. Hell yeah, thank you, man. I know we're making a really like, I don't know, this is quite chill and just quite spacious. Oh, I like the gold foil on this one. It fills that space nicely. Damn. I think I've got to get some coffee. It is time for more coffee, guys. All right, yeah, let me grab a little bit more coffee. And in the meantime, you know, I feel like I didn't get a chance to really show off, because I've been gone for a little bit. I didn't get a chance to really show off Ardent Spirit too much. I'm going to play for you guys Ardent Spirit while I go grab a little bit of coffee, but I'll be like 2 seconds. But in the meantime, this is a little single from I hope to be releasing an album cut from this vein later in the year. I've got one album that's going to be coming out before it. I'm hoping to drop 3 albums this year. So anyways, what's up, Aiden? How's it going, dude? Welcome on in. Yeah, I'm just going to grab a little bit of coffee. I'll be right back with you guys. And then we're going to dive back into that track. I'll be 2 seconds. I am back. Wow, I got back just in time. Oh, but yes, I see Aiden was saying, have you tried drinking mushroom coffee yet? Oh, like shrooms, like psilocybin, like magic mushrooms tea. He says, ooh, this one definitely stands out from your other work. Hey, thank you so much, man. Yeah, Ardent Spirit is one that I'm like really stoked on, and I'm hoping to do an album kind of in that vein later this year, you know? It's just one that I've been really passionate about. And Signature says, sounds great. Thank you, man. Yeah, I got stuff in store for you guys if you like Ardent Spirit, you know? They sell it at Target now. Oh, so it must not be magic mushrooms. I was going to say. Well, I haven't made tea from mushrooms, but I've certainly taken some mushrooms before. I used to quite enjoy mushrooms, man. Nowadays, I feel like I don't know. That was a lot. I haven't tripped in quite some time. All right, let's see where we're going with this. Yeah, it's like, ayo. Well, that's what I thought you were talking about when you were talking about mushroom tea. Definitely lost my freaking mind on mushrooms before. Really fun times. I don't know. It's a little risky though. It can really freak you the fuck out. All right. I think we could pull out a little bit more splice instruments. But yeah, I'm not talking about those kind of mushrooms. Fair enough. What kind of mushroom tea is it then? Just chill you out. Gosh, what all do we want? There's some good stuff in here. Like, we could do some, like, light detailing with this. Well, I'm not sure. I feel like I want to do something with that. But yeah, I see Aiden says, I took weed gummies once. My legs kept going numb. Thought I was gonna have a seizure. Yeah, I feel like weed gummies, if you've never gotten high on weed before, I think can be kind of freaky, because it's kind of hard to measure your dosage if you've never done it before, right? So I don't know. That's why I'm always try to caution people that want to try weed for the first time and they're taking gummies or something. It's little at a time. Be cautious, because you're not going to feel the effects until an hour in, and then they're going to get stronger another hour after that. Yeah. But yeah, Aiden says, yeah, mushroom coffee is something that's been trending. Just got into retail this year. Yeah, I wonder why. I've also been seeing that, because it's not like the magic mushrooms or anything. It's just mushroom coffee. I have been seeing that on TikTok for some reason. He says, the guy I've been working with is telling me I shouldn't drop my album and just drop every track off of it as singles. That's actually not bad advice. You can still drop it as an album after you've dropped it all as singles. You should look into the waterfall strategy. I use that a lot in my music. I'll drop a bunch of stuff as singles, and then every once in a while I'll use those singles in an album or an EP. And I'm always trying to kind of make it so that about maybe half of the tracks on a given album is completely unreleased material. But you don't even have to go that far. You can release everything as singles, and just the last track that you drop, but just drop the full album. And you know what? It works. Don't overthink it. I think that too many artists overthink the idea of releasing stuff and then including it on an album later. And it's people aren't gonna be ostracizing you for including singles on your album, or even dropping the full album just as singles. Lots of people do that. It's totally normal. But I don't know. How long have you been working on that album? You've been working on that for ages. Ooh, and I just had a little idea. Get a little bit of chimes in here. Gotta turn warping off. I kind of want to connect these two sections with a little bit of chimes, but where's the end of this? There we go. Aiden says, there are some tracks off the album that won't make sense to drop on their own, since they were made for the purpose of being on the album. Honestly, I've been pretty burnt out by it. It's been a year since I dropped the first single, Forgetting You. Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah, there was one time that I spent a full year making an album, but by the time that I was ready to drop it, I'd kind of moved on to other endeavors, and my production had gotten much better. So I just decided, you know what? nothing is holding me to dropping this album. I'm just gonna move on with my life and make better music. And so I did, you know. But I don't know, man. I would just say put it out. Yeah, singles, or just drop the album. Whatever you make next is gonna be even better. So, you know, don't hold yourself back from getting on to that next thing. Okay, we might like fill out this space a little bit more. Oh yeah, you were telling me that you went to that karaoke bar. That's kind of cool, man. Maybe we pull out Decent Sampler and see if there's anything in there. Broken piano that I'm thinking of? Micro cassette piano. I think this is what I was thinking of. I think we're gonna want this like to kind of help walk us off over in this section. Something subtle like that, you know. We're not trying to do like these big grandiose details. We're trying to like really create nuance. But yeah, Aiden was saying, yeah, there's literally one more song I have to finish recording vocals with, and the album can't be without it. So part of me wants to listen to the guy I'm working with and not drop the album, but another part of, dude, why not both? Like I was saying, like waterfall release totally works, you know. Yeah, Steve's saying, to be honest, I would just say do your album. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, it's like at this point you should do it just to unburden yourself from it, you know. Don't sit on your hands. Record those vocals tonight. Drop it tomorrow. And then you're free. Alright, wow, we've really got this whole section really, like these 40 seconds are very nuanced and built out. All right, we got to keep this moving along. So I don't know if we're going to do a full... I don't know if we're going to do a full 20-second intro. Quite honestly, I'm trying to not like stress about that right now. Let's try to see what we're getting onto in this next section. Hey, Steve! Thank you so much for the $1.99. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support, dude. God damn. Well, that made my day. Oh, yeah. Let's hit it right at this. We'll drop it in. Little pickup note to the snare. Woo. Okay, and you know what? There was one other trumpet lick that we were considering before all of this. Maybe we should pull out this bass. And then let's start building out our middle section. So let's see. Trumpet and I think it was the first one when I had jazz and hip hop both. Yeah, it was this guy. Come on, this is gonna be sick. Oh, man. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna like run this through this section, and then we're gonna kind of dumb this down in the next 8 bars. So we're gonna say like there we go. Yeah, Steve's like, damn. Maybe a little bit of stab pizzicato strings. Potentially. Right now, I want to get like the foundational pieces in here, and then we'll kind of figure out what we're dressing this up with. I kind of want to stick in a jazz palette. I was almost thinking like vibraphone, maybe. Pizzicato strings isn't a bad idea, though. We'll kind of see what we're messing with. First of all, let's get this trumpet like really locked in. Ba, 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 ba. Ah, you see. Maybe we gotta bring this back in. Ba 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 ba. And we chop this off. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I probably need for real, yeah. Foundation, yes. Ba-ba. We might even do a little bit of delay in between these. We'll see. Bum bum. Bum bum. We'll see where the placement of that needs to go. This is so cool, man. I'm really vibing with this track. It's so like reflective and just grand, you know? Oh man. Yeah, and I just zone out a lot and come back after. I feel like I'm guilty of that, where I'll just sit with a track and zone out, and before I know it, 2 hours have passed. But you know, I'm usually packing in little details here and there. Oh man, let's see. Wait, we're a little bit off. There we go. and do like another little dropout section. We'll probably be bringing them back around. But we'll probably try to do it a little bit differently in that next one. But we're starting to get the arrangement here. Boy, we still actually have quite a bit of ways to go on this track. I spent quite a while fleshing this out, but I feel like this is the standard for how I want this track to feel. We're gonna have to be careful about what we come in with in this section. Let's go ahead and start pulling out a vibraphone. Start looping this a bit. Okay. I think I figured out something really simple to lay down in there. Oh, man. We're getting there. I might even have to mess with the velocity of these notes a bit. These first ones were a little bit weak. I want to like scoot these up a bit. Simple, right? And we really got to kind of treat this as we did that last section. We're going to have to just like start pulling out a lot of instruments and just kind of seeing what kind of details are going to stick, right? I've got maybe an idea. Lost Soul in the augmented grand piano plugin might be kind of cool. It's a very clean sounding piano that would be pretty distinguished from the piano underneath. I like this for like little walk downs and stuff. Okay. That's pretty slick. I definitely vibe with that. Let's see how this feels, because I kind of liked how that walked into this, but we'll see how this feels coming out of this section. We're gonna have to start kind of coming in with some bells and whistles. I'm thinking like cymbals, risers, and stuff that's gonna kind of push the energy of this track. It's gotta keep moving in a direction, right? It can't just be one stagnant layer of just ethereal stuff, right? Kind of run this back though. Oh, I've got a small idea here. There's a really good like patch for string ensemble swells in this. Let's see if I can remember what it is though. Wasn't like expressive strings, was it? It's something in here. We'll find it. It's strings 2, I think is what it was. Yeah, and it's the swells ensemble. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna have to like... See, subtleties like that. Okay, and I am already trying to think of like risers, crash cymbals, stuff like that. And I'm kind of thinking a really great moment for this might be like right in here as we're transitioning to this section. Keep the energy moving along, you know? Let's see, there's this one riser that I like to use. It's like a reverse cymbal, but I like to kind of use both the reverse and the forward on it. We'll see how this fits here. Let's see, it's not in the somatic stuff. I think it's, yeah, here we go. Let's unwarp this. And we're going to try to get this like right up against here. Let's turn this down because it's probably going to be pretty loud. And then we're going to just like slap this down over here and just reverse the clip, right? And hopefully get this to kind of like gel together. You'll notice I did have a little bit that leaned over, right? That was a bit intentional. We'll connect these. But you see, I feel like that even feels a little bit muted on this end. I kind of want to like have one extra like crash kind of layered onto there. So what would be a good crash? Oh, that's actually a pretty good one. I was expecting to go digging for a little while. need to be adding on a little bit more into this section to kind of counter like this vibraphone and this trumpet here. What all could be good in here? Banjo, ukulele, maybe. And we'll see, we might get a little bit more dynamic with that. Like, what if we had a little bit of a, oops. Just kind of varying these velocities a little bit. I think we could kind of compress it a little bit to bring forth some of that reverb tail on this gentle compressor. And we also just need to bring the volume of it forward as well a little bit. So we could even make this more washed out with an additional reverb layer on it. Super plate. Not that washed out, but we need a little bit more counterpoint in here. I'll bring this bass over in this section. Working ahead. Got such cool stuff going on here. This is like such a laid back track, man. I love it. even bring in that string. This guy. What's going on here? Man, this UI is all fucked up. I can't get over to my bend wheel. Man, I really need to swap over. It accidentally recorded some of the mod wheel with it turned down, which controls the volume of this instrument. What's annoying though right now is that this, you can see this UI is kind of fucked up, right? So I can't select that automation and delete it. There we go. There we go. Mod control, pitch bend. I swear there's modulation wheel. And yeah, you can see that this is at 0. If we put this all the way up at the top, this should be. There we go. Fixed. Dude, this is so good. Before we go any further, I should save this. I'm so terrible about, I get carried away with production and then I forget to save. Steve's back. Welcome back, dude. Welcome back, dude. All right. What was I on? Song 1127, I believe. And let's play this while we're saving. I haven't touched the intro yet, but we'll get there. Song 1127. Boy, we're gonna have to do something magnificent in this intro section because we built such a magnificent track, you know? Augmented piano, hell yeah, man. Used a decent amount of it in this track. Yeah, the strings, hell yeah. What was that right there? Glockenspiel? Oh, I think it's the banjo ukulele you might be hearing. we've got a vibraphone on there. Here, once it saves, I'll pull it up and show you. And we'll have to figure out what we're doing in this last section. But I think we're going to leave it pretty low key. But we need some immaculate detailing in there. Oh, man. Boy, this is taking a long while to save because, I mean, good God, we've got like 25 tracks pulled out with 1,000 different plugins on it. But yeah, Steve's like, yes, thank you, bro. I'm like, I need to see what's up with this vibraphone he uses. Oh man, unfortunately this is something that I concocted myself. That's not going to be like too readily available. I'll try to show you some of the strategy here. So I assume you're probably talking about this vibraphone. This guy. So let me show you the bullshit that is my vibraphone. I used the stock Ableton vibraphone. Okay, Ableton has just this thing called vibraphone hits, right? If you just search up vibraphone hits in Ableton, and I think this came with the suite version, right? It's a very, very basic version of a vibraphone. Now, I did a lot of bullshit to it to make it sound this way, right? So I'm going to turn this off, all of this stuff, and let's just hear what the vibraphone sounds like. Yeah, here. I might even have to turn this up. Which, it sounds good, right? But I did some bullshit to it to make it sound a lot more dirty and sampled. So I put a drum bus on here. Put this drum bus. This kind of gave it a little bit more punch to it. And then I absolutely smashed it through some OTT. I'm using OTT Xfer, right? And now this makes it quite loud. Let me turn this back down. So now we're getting more of that sort of sound, right? Then I used Sketch Cassette. This is a tape processor. I forget exactly. Yeah, this really brightens it as well. It's also got some compression on here. Then I was like, that's not enough compression. Let's use LA2A. That's also bringing forward some of the texture, right? And then vinyl, this kind of makes it a little bit more filtered out. A little bit more muted sound. And then lastly, I was like, nah, we need to cut some of these highs from that fuzz. And what I like about this is there's a little bit of, you see, sound when you let off of the instrument. So that's I just saved that as a preset, okay? I grouped it all together. And saved it as TapDaddy vibraphone. Okay, so now anytime I want to use this vibraphone, I just search up an Ableton TapDaddy vibraphone, and I can use this beautifully like sampled sounding vibraphone. Yeah, he says, makes me feel about the stuff I do to my audio track playing my keys. Yeah, you see, if you're creative, this is how you build out your sound, is you end up building like tools and instruments for yourself. God damn. Okay, so where are we going from here? I think there was still a little bit we wanted to do in this section. No, we actually filled that out nicely with that violin. Okay, now let's see if we can continue with some small details but keep it really low key. Maybe we'll pull out augmented mallets. Tape vibraphone, maybe. Just that. And I don't think we want this on every single one, but we'll like there we go. Professor TapDaddy, hell yeah. Maybe another one over here. Still feels like it needs a little bit more than this though, right? And there's something else in augmented mallets we could probably pull out. Golden ferns, I like this one. We need that, but we need like a little bit of something extra on it. Maybe crystallizer, we'll see. Yeah, maybe like a 90s lead. Very minimal. He says, oh damn, we're that. Yeah. Now what if we had this more like over here? Pull out crystallizer for a second. I really like the sound of crystallizer on this instrument. It's pretty dope. Maybe emeralds, and we really just make it super minimal. Okay, we're getting there. Yeah. Now I feel like we might just be pulling out some bullshit from Arturia. Oh, and you know what? There was one detail that I kind of wanted to pull back out. These guys. In fact, what if we had these like starting over here? Ooh. Fuck yeah, dude. Yo, Nix, what's up, dude? It's good to see you, man. Welcome on in, man. God damn, Nix, you came in here to hear, like, as we're really tying a bow on this track. Oh, man. But how's your day going, dude? We're gonna need a little bit, I think, extra in here. I want to bring this back as well. We're also gonna have to start thinking about this intro. But let's just run it through for the moment and kind of see what we got, you know? Yeah, that's it. I know, right? Yeah, good, decent. Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Yeah, just busy with university assignments. I feel you, dude. How is university going? I know they certainly keep you busy. Filled this out pretty nicely. But yeah, he says, I'm trying to finish the presentation. Still waiting for the results from the Google form. Yeah, I plan to fill that out later today. Curious what you're asking in that form. I saw a little bit of, like, it's about analog versus like digital software. Is it killing creativity? But I feel like I have a lot to say on that topic. I tend to lean more on the side of like, no, software is making this more accessible to more people. It's not hindering creativity, it's enabling creativity, because instead of having to pay $5,000 for a LA2A compressor, you can get the plugin for free and have essentially the same thing. But, you know. But man, if I had the money for the analog route, I probably would be going that route. But yeah, I see, he says, yeah, university's going all right. Too much work though. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. It's a slog, isn't it? All right, we need to figure out what we're doing in this intro. And we might be pulling out this string instrument as well for this intro section. Oh, you know what? We need some rain for this intro. Yeah, we need like rain ambience. This is a very satisfying rain. It's got a little bit of fuzz in the beginning, but we can work around that. Let's pull this out. And where's that? Let's just say starting over here. We'll turn this down quite a bit. I'm not sure if we want to do a full 20 seconds. Maybe we will. But it means we got to really fill this with interesting stuff. Okay, so we got our rain here. Now we need, like, what else? I'm thinking we need something kind of to focus on in this intro, something that's going to grow and evolve. The string would be a great choice, but we need to figure it out. Can't be the only thing in there, but we need something in there. But yeah, Nix was saying it's good. I'm gonna get a lot of different answers. This is sort of a debate about analog versus digital, because in the presentation I'll ending with the what's the future. Maybe it's analog plus digital. And, you know, I think even like the high-end big producers and mix engineers, I see using a combination of which, you know? Like there's some stuff that it's great for, you know, analog can drive a lot of money for mix engineers. Of course, if you advertise, you've got this studio with all this gear. But also there are instances where you have more control if you're going the digital route. And I think usually the answer is kind of a bit of both. And I think you're right to assume that, you know, the future is probably going to be both. I don't think analog gear is going to go away. But also in the topic of, you know, is digital taking away creativity? Is it taking away? I think it's enabling creativity by lowering the cost of having good tools. You know, I think, you know, some 16-year-old in his bedroom can have access to some pretty high-end tools for dirt cheap, you know. And that's a good thing. That's always going to be a good thing. That's going to lead to that is the reason why so many people at the beginning levels have such great music nowadays. It's good. Something like this. Probably going to want to kind of shape these a bit differently, though. Ah, damn it, this mod wheel got stuck down at the bottom again for some reason. Like, I think I'm going to want to extend that out, and then we'll probably, like, fade it a little bit. So, going back over to notes, we'll like doing something like this. Let's pull out a utility and we will from here to here probably be like going like yoink. That feels a little bit awkward. Not quite. I don't know. We'll have to play with that. But yeah, he says, totally agree with you. I think analog is coming back. People want that stuff. They always have. They always have. And in fact, this is, you just don't see many people with analog stuff because of the sheer cost of it, you know? Yeah, he says, I mean, even my situation, I want to get a tape recorder. I want to get a physical synthesizer. I want to experiment with more hardware. I've been working so much on my computer ever since 2019. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think that pretty much, I think that most people given the opportunity would prefer to be working with hardware, you know? And I just know that, you know, as a mix engineer especially, I know that I could be making so much more money if I was working with analog gear because it's in such high demand, you know. People want, regardless of whether it truly sounds different, and it does. I mean, I'm not going to discount the idea that there is something to working with the analog gear versus the VST substitutes, right? There's like a last 10% that you're just not getting out of the software, you know. Of course, you can really get it pretty close there. But people are shilling out a lot of money to record at these studios that do have the analog gear and to get their stuff mixed by engineers that have that gear. So there's also kind of a financial aspect to it where it's an investment, you know. Regardless of the sound, it can drive a lot more money to your studio if you have a lot more expensive gear, but it costs a lot of money to get that gear, right? Gosh, what am I doing here? Maybe I need to just like forget about that. Let's just end the note where it makes sense to. Ooh, maybe we hit like a low note. But we hit it like really subtly. Let's hit this like really quiet down here. God, that doesn't really, you know, this plugin really wants to go wherever it wants to dynamically. I have to bring this down quite a bit. There we go. Yeah, if money wasn't a problem, same, dude. I think everybody would. It's too busy. It's way too busy. It's just Okay, and we need like other stuff for this to trade off with filling that space. Or, ooh, wait, I kind of got ideas. We can, I've got this really cool, like, swell instrument here. Gonna be something like that kind of folds into it. There we go. But yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking to make this questionnaire. So I got 50% good feedback on it, 50% bad, because the question may not be the best. No, I get that. Maybe it's like... Maybe instead of this starting right off the bat, we do it over here. And we wait to come in with that string. Let's see if I moved this to the right area. We can support that with a little bit of like a riser or something. And I might even come in like with these guys over here. Hell yeah, man. Oh, we're getting there. Dude, we're getting there. I might even pull out X-Band. Sometimes I find some gold in X-Band good for like intros. Do you still do the feedback system stream? Yeah, every Wednesday on Twitch, I'm still reviewing music. So yeah, definitely pop in sometime, man. That goes for everybody. I'm live on Twitch every Wednesday reviewing music. It's so much fun. I'm TapDaddyBeats on Twitch. Damn, we got... Okay, I've got an idea for like riser to kind of help feed us into this section. We're gonna use, let's see, it's in schematics. Just this like very subtle riser, but I'm also gonna throw like some super massive on them. It's kind of give this like delay reverb effect on it. I think this will be the ticket. I think this will be pretty cool. All right, let's see. Let's get this all lined up really tight. There we go. And then super massive. And just the default setting on this is pretty good. Nice, subtle. But yeah, Nick says, I mean, I might need to pop in. I'm nervous to share anything though lately. Even though I got some music I've been working on. Oh, don't be nervous to show it off, man. I feel like as artists, we can't afford the luxury of shame. You know? That just gotta keep it moving forward. That's the only way through it, man. Damn, we made a banger today. I still gotta finish out the outro. We'll see where we're going with it. I think we do play them through this track, like through this section. What if we then brought them into, so let's say like something like this. We say, okay, little brain. And then maybe we just fade the drums. So it's kind of like we kind of drop it off like this. Dude, that's so banger. Okay, let's run this from the beginning. See if there's anything else. I'll save as we do this. See if there's anything that might need some touching up. That's the track. Oh man. Okay. Wow. We spent all stream on this one song, but you know what? I set out with a goal today to make something that would be maybe worthy of discography, worthy of Spotify. And I think we hit the nail on the head. I mean, like, man, what an atmospheric kind of reflective sort of track. Oh man, yeah, Signature says nice one. Thank you, man. I mean, god damn, I'm looking forward to just like listening to this demo all week, you know? Oh, thank you guys so much for hanging out, keeping me company while I cook up. Yeah, we'll do this again next Saturday, of course. Just making beats every Saturday. And yo, if any of you guys want me to hear your music, I do a whole stream on Twitch every single Wednesday where I'm just reviewing music from my subscribers, and I really like to knowledge dump in those streams. So so definitely pop in if that sounds interesting to you. Of course, we'll be also doing mixing streams every Thursday. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Signature. Thank you, Nix. Thank you, Steve, for popping in. Man, who all did we have? Aiden, thanks for popping by, dude. Yeah, thank you, everybody that's been watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.